KP's question is up next. He says, "Hi, Brian." Didn't say hi to Bo. I don't know why. That just struck me as I read it. So this one, I don't know, Bo, you could just sit this one out if you want. Anyway, here's the question. He says, "I am new to the financial order of operations and am trying to understand why step 8 comes before step 9. I would have expected these to be flipped. So can you elaborate on the order of these steps and maybe give a little more nuance to it?"
Yeah, I mean, this is one, because I just think about your journey. Remember, and I guess I'll have to go from, and this is why I really am proud of myself in Millionaire Mission. If y'all didn't know, I wrote a book.
Did you write a book?
I wrote a book. But step 9, I do 3 graphs where I talk about, when time is restricted versus your income. It's basically earning potential, happiness factor of people by age. And then I lay out, all these things culminate into the fact, and also then how the money wealth multiplier of what the potential of what every dollar can become. And I think when you look at all those things, you realize that mortgage debt is one of those things where a lot of financial talking gurus have misled us in a lot of ways. Is because we're in our poorest of moments. We're also, it's that traditional messy middle where you're short on time, you're short on money, but yet you got kids, you got chaos. You need as much house as you can get just so you can live in that chaos. You need to spread out that house because you need time to let your income catch up to all your earning potential and everything else. So we needed an honest conversation from somebody who kind of laid out all these things where I took into account the time, I took into account the money, I took into account the wealth multiplier and the value of compounding growth. And what I came up with is that for the majority of people out there, I know we're in a unique time right now where interest rates on mortgages are, 6%. I have heard a few go below 6% recently, and I think that's going to start to become the trend again. But you're going to quickly find out that you need rules that let you build in all the life stuff, but also allow you to have that nice house to raise your family in. But then you're going to reach step 8, and you're going to say, hey, this is the point where I laid out my financial foundation, and I now need to start funding the kids' college. Or maybe now I'm at the point where there's still some things I want to do for building my wealth, like maybe it's residential rental, maybe it's an investing or building up cash for investment opportunities or other things. But then I laid out in step 9, if you're over 45, because this is going to take a time to go through all these steps of the financial order of operations. Yeah, by all means, I want you to prepay that mortgage to pay it off, because you will have not sacrificed you living your best financial life because you did things out of order. I saw a post last night from somebody, and I see them all over social media right now, where people are they paid off 3% or less mortgages, and they're still trying to tell us how they're all so proud of that decision, that it's not a regret. And I'm like, why do you keep posting this? Yeah. It's almost... And I've told this story where I had a neighbor, he's moved away now, where every time I saw him, he knew what I kind of did. And he'd tell me about how he was doing penny stocks, and he bought Monster Energy before it was Monster Energy, and how he missed out on all this money, but it was okay. And people just tend to I'm trying to give you the best, where I give you the mindset, I give you the math, so you don't have those regrets where you're posting why it's so awesome that when you were 32 years old, you paid off your mortgage over and over and over, trying to make everybody feel better about the decision you made. I tried to give you the balance to where when you pay it off, you feel completely comfortable about it. And I hope that what would you add to that? Even though KP didn't ask you for your input.
KP, you don't care about my opinion, but I'll never pass up an opportunity to talk. What I think is interesting is that money is nothing more than a tool. It's not a goal. So we have to define what our goals are and how our money can help us get there. What's great about step 7, 8, and 9 of the financial order of operations is this is where goals really come into play. And so you may decide, hey, once I get into the hyperaccumulation phase, once I'm saving more than 25%, one of my goals is to be debt-free. And if that's a high priority goal for you, it's okay if you prioritize doing that before you fund other abundance goals. Like maybe you want to be debt free before you save for college, or before you save for that trip, or before you save for whatever. You, as the financial mutant, and you, as the author of your own financial journey, get to dictate that. What we've tried to lay out in the financial order of operations is the optimal, or the way to maximize your dollars. And that's where the order comes from. But once you get into that final tier, once you get into 7, 8, 9, you control the goals. And if you choose to accelerate step 9 into step 8 or before step 8, that's totally okay. You're at the point in your financial journey where you get to make choices because you want to, not because you have to. We're just trying to lay out for you the optimum solution, optimum strategy.
It's steps 1 through 7 is the make the wealth stages, so we can actually, it's not just guaranteed you're going to be wealthy. The majority of Americans don't ever make that success level. So that's what steps 1 through 7. Steps 8 and 9 are more about maintaining the wealth because you're de-risking. And then I want you to even go, and I cover this when I go, especially Millionaire Mission, when I went beyond what I do when I talk about my money and other things, as I want you to multiply your wealth too and build the legacy, do the other things. So that's really the big answer. Steps 1 through 7 is to make the wealth. Steps 8 and 9 are to maintain the wealth. And then I'm hoping this entire journey, what you're doing with the Money Guy show, is going to help you multiply the wealth.